Hi, I'm Nisha. Welcome. I'm making roses, like from ribbon. I made two. So I'm making maybe 4 to 5 of these for my friends. And hopefully a bouquet for my boyfriend because our 1 year anniversary is coming up. I am one of those kids that grew up very shy, and one of my only friends growing up was books, and I loved reading novels, especially fantasy novels. I love magic, anything that's not real basically. Looking back, it's kind of a coping mechanism I had to kind of dissociate from the trauma I was experiencing. So because I liked reading a lot since I was really young, I've always wanted to be a writer, even though a thing called life made me realize it's not as easy to make money as a writer in this economy. When I was like 10 or 11, I don't know, I was writing like a full-on novel on my notebook by hand, and I typed it into my mom's computer. And I remember posting my first ever novel onto this webpage and then had someone like review it. We like peer reviewed it in exchange. So I reviewed their work and they reviewed my work. The thing was that they probably didn't know how young I was, and they gave me a very honest review that basically my story was shit. In a very nice way, I think. I don't remember they being mean about it, but it was a negative review for sure that I didn't take very well because I was 10 years old. And that hurt me a lot without me even realizing the impact it had on my self-esteem and my self-identity as a whole. Then I think because I felt like I wasn't good enough, I went to a lot of writing shops and wanted to get good at it. I wanted to be a real writer. I wanted to be good at it. I wanted to write good stories and stories that people like. And that's when I started to get this pressure to make something that's good, that's recognized, that's loved by other people. Looking back, that's when I got my anxiety around making art, because art is something that's very much close to my heart. And I think that's very true for many artists because art's very personal and it's almost like an extension of one's identity. When it gets criticized or it's not perceived well, it's almost like an attack to the artists themselves. And that's what I was struggling with a lot. After I went to a lot of writing workshops, I tried writing many more novels, like creating like the 3 arc plot and everything, and I ended up not finishing any of the stories because I either got bored or felt like it wasn't good enough and went back and like rewriting the plot and everything, and eventually I just gave up. I felt really bad about myself for quitting, but I also felt really bad about myself that I couldn't write good stories. That was my writing journey. Now I just don't write anymore, except for my like journals and stuff. And then when I was in high school, it was COVID. I remember being like online and I was really bored, so I started this it was like an Instagram account that I don't know if this is a thing in the Western countries, but it is a thing in Thailand. It's called like a studygram, which is basically a study Instagram, which is like those study aesthetic blogs, but on Instagram. I created like aesthetic posts of my notes. Then I like find people in the community, I chatted with them, I gained followers, I made like giveaways. I gained, I think, almost 2,000 followers before I quit. Like, I was having fun, but a big part of that fun was also from the fact that my follower count was increasing, and the fact that I was like gaining recognition, I was like talking to people, and I was feeling valuable, I was feeling important. And that was very, very important to me because I think at that time I didn't have a very high self-esteem. I felt a lot of pressure creating posts because like the more famous you get, the more pressure you put on yourself to be like, oh, this post gotta be more beautiful, prettier, have even more like counts, reach even more audiences and stuff. And because I was still so young back then, like I mean I'm still so young now, but looking back, I was just a baby, and I felt bad about myself that my follower count started to like plateau and not like increase significantly, I guess. And I was kind of burning out myself out by like posting every day and like making content and thinking about new content all the while online learning and figuring out all the high school shit. So I stopped that as well. And then into high school, my depression got really bad, even though I didn't realize it was depression then. Basically, my artistic journey stopped, like took a break in high school. And my first year of college, I mean my second year now, which is, so it was last year, I was hitting my rock bottom with my mental health. I was taking 3 hours to get out of bed to like shower, and I just couldn't function as a human being. So finally I went to a therapist. I've been in therapy for almost a year now, and I feel like I've grown a lot since then. Like I still have my issues for sure, like I'm still working on stuff, but I'm so much more self-aware now. And one of the issues I'm more fully aware now that I have it is an issue with shame. I have a lot of shame within myself. I've always felt not good enough in all sorts of ways possible. I felt not pretty enough, not clever enough, not fun enough, not funny enough, didn't have enough friends, wasn't a good enough daughter or a good enough sister or a good enough friend or stuff like that. And no matter what I do, I'll never see as enough in my eyes. I'll always be like, no, like it should have been better than this or something. And part of that's from my upbringing as well. And I remember this one distinct conversation with my grandpa where I got 48 out of 50 on an English test when I was in like middle school or something. And he asked, where did the 2 points go? So like he didn't applaud me for the 48 points I got, but he was asking where did the 2 go. I'm not saying this is his fault by any means. There was a lot of factor contributing to this mentality I have, but I just feel like that situation just encapsulates the way my mind thinks very, very accurately. Like every time I accomplish something, as even as small as like completing like a day's to-do list, I would always see what's missing instead of what's there. Like if I have 10 tasks for the day and I only finish 9, I don't feel proud about the 9 things I did. I'll feel like, why did I not finish the 10th one? Or even if I finish all 10 tasks, I would still feel like I wasn't doing enough because I should have gone over and beyond and finished tomorrow's task as well. So I'll never be enough for myself. That was the mentality I was living with for so many years, that it had gotten me so burnt out and so stuck. Like I just couldn't do anything because nothing I did was ever gonna be good enough. I think it's very much reflected on my relationship with art and my relationship with myself as well. After being in therapy for almost a year and being so much more self-aware now, I've made my 2025 goal to live in the moment and to really just see art in the things around me, in the mundane things, and to make art for the sake of making art. I feel like art is literally the medium where we connect to the universal experience of being a human. When you're struggling, you feel so alone. It's like you're the only person going through this right now. But believe it or not, there's like a million people out there having the worst day of their lives. And I feel like to tap into that universal feeling of being human is very important to realize that you're not alone. And that's why we relate to so much to art, because it's emotional, it's personal, it transcends language, age, gender, because it points to the one connection we have with each other, which is to be a human. because I'm such a perfectionist and always like chasing perfection and like completeness, I don't let myself even be human. I don't let myself just be. I need to do something all the time. I need to be productive. I need to be achieving that. And I feel like that's so exhausting, and I just want to let myself be, just to create. And so here I am. Part of it is this, which is like making a YouTube video and like starting a channel, because it's some things I've always wanted to do. I've recorded so many videos, edited so many of them, but never posted any. And hopefully this one gets out. I'm literally overcoming my fear of being perceived and my fear of failure by doing this right now, because I'm literally in my pajamas, I don't have makeup on, and I don't have a script. So hopefully what I said makes sense. So if you want to come along for the journey, in case anyone's even watching this, feel free to like subscribe maybe. I just want to create a series where I try new art or like incorporate art into my everyday life. For example, like I read on the metro now, like I don't use my phone, I listen to music, I look at people's shoes and I see beauty in it. Like today I saw two people sitting next to each other and they were wearing very much like vibrant red shoes, and then the other one was wearing like blue shoes, and I thought that was like a nice contrast. And I feel like that's the thing I was looking for, like living in the moment, like the art of noticing and making meaning out of mundane things. I try to draw a lot more. Today I went to the park with my friend. Please excuse my bad drawing skills. I make content when I feel like it, and I post it without thinking too much about it. Hopefully I'll get back to writing, because I feel like that's one of my biggest dreams ever. And sharing this on YouTube with you guys, which is a form of making art. I love talking, I love editing, I love color grading, I love doing thumbnails and stuff. So hopefully this goes on. But if not, if at some point I just don't have fun anymore, I won't put pressure on myself or hit myself up for not completing or quitting, because this is all about me. This is for me. It's not for anyone. It's not for being famous. It's not for making money. It's not for being perceived or liked. It's just for me. This is just for me. And you're welcome to come along.